Hello 3H, how are you? It's Friday afternoon again. It comes around quickly, doesn't it? Sorry I didn't see you last week on this little recording. I was in school with the key work children, but I'm back this week and I've spoken to lots of you on the phone and I've seen some really lovely work this week. Lots of writing this week. About your stories, about the boy who discovers the beanstalk, and lots of really good imaginative ideas that have come out, and I've really enjoyed reading those this week, so well done to you all. We do have to talk TT Rockstars, and I think Mr. Kellum said we were slowly making our way up that leaderboard, but we need to be on the top, don't we? Now, every Monday, I'm going to send some certificates through to your grown-ups if you have come top on the 3H leaderboard. Last week, Logan with 2 A's was top of the leaderboard, so he got a certificate, as did Leo and JJ. So is it going to be the same 3 again getting a certificate on Monday? Maybe not. Maybe you're going to really try hard over the weekend and get those fingers going, and maybe that means that we'll push our way up the leaderboard as well. I really hope so. Now, one thing you will know that I love to do in our class is read, and I think reading is such an important thing to do. Now, maybe you've started to run out of books, or maybe you're not as inclined to read at home as you have been, because maybe you're not feeling it, or life's just a little bit too busy and stressful at the moment. So one challenge I'm going to set you this week is you are going to find a little nook or a little cranny in your house, and you're going to find somebody different to read to. Now, unfortunately, my boys are a bit too grown up to be read to at the moment, even though I think I could still read to them. So I was thinking, well, who have I got in my household that I could read to? And really sadly, we don't have any cuddly toys anymore that I could read to. And I was thinking, well, I've got nobody to read to anymore. I've got you guys that I can read to, and I've got people in school that I can read to, but who have I got to read to? And then I suddenly remembered I could read to Baby Yoda. So if I was one of you guys, I could take a picture of me cuddled up on the sofa or cuddled up in a corner of a bedroom, and you could see me reading to Yoda. But what I'm going to do, because we're going to read the next bit of our story, aren't we? Yours sincerely, Giraffe. Okay, so Baby Yoda is going to sit on the windowsill and he's going to listen to the story. Okay, there he is. So you can sit in the window and he can listen to the next part of our story. So do you remember, Giraffe was a bit bored, wasn't he? And then he discovered that he could send letters to somebody. So he asked Pelican just to send a letter to the first person he met over the horizon. And it's been a while, but we need to find out what happens next. And the next chapter is called, Is the Horizon Near or Far? And that's a very good question, possibly one that hasn't got an answer. So let's see what happens. Pelican said he would be back before sundown, but it was long past sunset and darkness had fallen. Giraffe sighed. I doubt that even Pelican can fly in the dark. I guess there's no point staying up all night. I'd better go to bed. He gently closed his eyes. Even though Pelican had not returned, Giraffe still felt peaceful. It's all right. I'm sure he'll come back with a letter from the other side of the horizon. From early next morning, the not-so-bored Giraffe watched the sky for Pelican's return. So Giraffe has got something to do now. He's excited. He craned his neck so eagerly that it grew 2 inches. By the time noon rolled around, Giraffe's neck had stretched another inch. Then at last, there he was, the long-awaited Pelican. Giraffe was popping with excitement. He could see something in Pelican's beak. Hurry, he shouted. Show me the letter. Quick, quick. But Pelican gave him a hard, long look. Now listen here, Giraffe. Do you have any idea how hard that job was? Giraffe realised he was being impatient, so he took a deep breath. It was that hard, was it? He said. Here, let me get you something to eat. Put down your bag and have a good rest. Oh dear, thought Giraffe, as the words left his mouth. Why on earth did I tell him to take a long rest? He was dying to read the letter that very minute. Pelican ate until his belly was full, and his heart was content. Then he told Giraffe a story. Although the horizon had looked close, it was very far away. No matter how far he flew, he never seemed to get any closer. And when he finally reached the other side, all he could see was water. There was more water than any lake he had ever seen in Africa. You said to give the letter to the first animal I met on the horizon, right? Pelican said. That's right, Giraffe nodded. Well, the first animal I met was Seal. Here's a letter, I said. Please bring me a reply. Will do, he said, and then he zoomed away. Pelican discovered that the big water called Whale Sea and that Seal's job was to deliver all the mail there. Pelican was particularly impressed to hear that a seal had won an award for being such a hard worker. But then who got my letter? Giraffe asked. He was beginning to get a little worried. In a very small voice, Pelican said, well, it seems that the only animal in Whale Sea that ever gets letters is someone or other. Giraffe leaned forward eagerly. And did you meet this someone or other? No, that's not his name. Actually, it sounded rather like my name. Let me think for a moment. Pelican tried hard to remember the name, but that was the last thing that Giraffe cared about. All he could think about was opening that letter. He wasn't bored any longer. His heart was pounding as if the whole body was a drum. Thumpity thump, boom diddly boom, boom diddly boom. Pelican could not start talking about his delivery job. By the time he finally went home, it was already dark. I never did find out the name of that someone or other, thought Giraffe. He wanted to read the reply right now, but he would have to wait until morning. The moon was just a tiny sliver, and the night was far too dark to read. Can you guess who got Giraffe's letter? His name sounded a little like Pelican. If you've guessed Penguin, you're right. Shall we take a peek at Penguin's life? And that's the end of that chapter. And the next chapter is called Penguin and the Magnificent Professor Whale. So I will read the next chapter with you next Friday afternoon. As I said, I'm really looking forward to getting some pictures of you reading to somebody different in your house. Okay, it would be really lovely to find you reading on the sofa with somebody really surprising, maybe a dog or a cat, or maybe a different animal that you've got in your house, maybe your bestest cuddly toy that you've got, or maybe on a Zoom call to somebody that you don't live with. Anyway, I would really love to see some pictures of 3H reading, and don't forget your TT Rockstars as well. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Now, looking outside, it's a little bit mild. It's been a little bit rainy, but the weather forecast says we're supposed to have snow again tomorrow. I shall believe it when I see it, but if we do have snow over the weekend, enjoy playing in it. And I will speak to you next week for our pre-recorded lessons. Take care, 3H.